I know anything about the freak off. And they all look at me like, and they be like, well, how all these people you know was at the freak off, but you's the only one that wasn't at the freak off. And I thought about it for a minute. I said, oh my God, I'm ugly.
Fresh off the guard stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
What the did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was stupid. Listen,
we're having a good time, yo. Are you Usher made it in the... Hey, yo.
Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk, that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this stepping fat out? And then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual. I'm not homosexual. It doesn't need that to be funny, right?
When Dave Chappelle speaks, people pay attention. He can deliver a serious message while still making the audience laugh, but this time his comments have fans looking beyond comedy. The entertainment world has been shaken by Sean Diddy Combs' arrest in New York and the serious charges surrounding him. As more details about his personal life and business dealings continue to emerge, the controversy keeps growing. Yet while the spotlight remains fixed on Diddy, another conversation is developing. Dave Chappelle has returned to the center of attention after appearing on Saturday Night Live, where some viewers felt his jokes were hinting at something deeper. Between the punchlines, fans began wondering whether Chappelle was pointing toward a connection involving Diddy, Kevin Hart, and the hidden power dynamics of the entertainment industry.
What I think is, again, as it affects me, I didn't realize, based on what's being said, that Puff had so much control over so many people in so many industries. And it's a tight-knit circle. It seems like they all keep a good secret. This is what it seems like. And it seems like they're very loyal to each other. So if the guy that I'm having a problem with is over there, and that's part of their circle of coolness or black excellence or whatever that crew is, that would mean that I can't do business, or I could never do business with Puff, even if I wanted to. And probably that, to me, would mean I can't do business with anybody else that was in that house, that was in that club. So now it all makes sense. You know, like certain people that were cool with me all of a sudden just stopped. Like Kevin Hart, for example, who's another person that I look at like he was on Rockefeller Films, right? Like I discovered Kev, and you know, so what happened with Kevin and I was we kept up with each other, like up till he was in NYC. He was doing a show at the New York, where was it at, right? NYU. In NYU. And I went to go see him. At the time he was with Tori, he still had his family with him, and he was getting into bigger venues. And, you know, we got pictures, I gotta find them. And then the next time it was the Garden, and I didn't get the call. And we just stopped being cool. It was like all of a sudden, the minute he got to a certain level, he stopped calling. And that's happened with me with people where once they get, and then all of a sudden there's a whole new set of friends. And now I see him over there, like I didn't know all this, but I see him over there, you know, they got the tapes of him at the party with the mic, and when people ask him questions, he's real serious, and I'm like, damn, what's going on? Kev was over there too? And now, if I could ask him, I'd be like, yo, what was doing over there? Like, because I've known these people for 20, 30 years. So I could, you know, we talk like that. So it wouldn't be like an uncomfortable conversation. You're a comedian. I'd be like, yo, you had the baby on you, was next to the bed. Like, you got to tell me so. And why are you being so quiet about it? You know what I'm saying? But again, it all makes sense. It'd be like, well, how come all of a sudden it was just all of a sudden new friends? So what it leads me to believe is if you're going to be friends with those people, they make you choose a side. And there's a lot, I'm like, damn, I got to do, like literally my instincts were right. I really have to do everything on my own.
To understand what Chappelle was getting at, you first have to understand Diddy's position in the entertainment world. 4 years, Diddy represented the ultimate success story. He built himself into a powerful mogul with record labels, fashion brands, spirits companies, and influence across music and media. He wasn't simply wealthy. He had serious industry power. Celebrities wanted access to his circle because being close to Diddy could open doors and create opportunities that many others could only dream of.
And there's another clip. Kevin Hart and Diddy is standing next to a mattress in a hotel room, what it looks like. And he's telling Diddy, I'm not going to get into bed with you. So our boy Diddy is, I think I don't know. You make up the call. I just don't want to say it.
Come here, don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close to the bed. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No, I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed at all.
And it's okay, but just come out and say it. Not okay with all the trafficking stuff, the regulations. I think if that's true, that's crazy. But one thing I do know is if the feds come, then there's something to be true to this. They would not waste their time.
But the same influence that once made Diddy untouchable is now under intense scrutiny. Investigators have alleged that his empire involved more than business success, raising accusations surrounding control, influence, and manipulation. As those claims continue to unfold, people who once stayed quiet are beginning to share their experiences, including former associates, employees, and collaborators. Dave Chappelle, however, isn't presenting himself as an insider. His perspective comes from someone who has spent years observing Hollywood from both within its orbit and at a distance, giving him a different view of how the entertainment system operates.
Now, I'm serious, man. You know what it is, man? It's just no fun being famous anymore. It's like y'all made it scary. You know what it feels like being famous? And scary is the right word. It feels like, and I'm not being dramatic, it feels like I'm storming the beach of Normandy, World War II. But I got to keep a happy expression on my face all the time. So imagine all the danger storming the beach, but I still look like this. The bullets are whizzing by and stuff is exploding. I'm just like, and then every once in a while something terrible happens. Pow! And I'm like, oh no! Puffy got hit. And Puffy be like, oh, keep going, Playboy. I kicked the and forgot about it. I've been in trouble in my day. Well, I've been in a lot of trouble in my day, but man, let me tell you something. This guy, Puffy, buddy, this guy is in an enormous amount of trouble. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. They got this guy in a Rico case by himself. A lot of my friends ask me, they say, Dave, did you know anything about those freak off parties? And I'd be like, nah, man. I didn't know anything about the freak off. And they all look at me like, and they'd be like, well, how all these people you know was at the freak off, but you's the only one that wasn't at the freak off. And I thought about it for a minute. I said, oh my God. I'm ugly. That's a tough way to find that out. Can you imagine if you were me reading the newspaper and found out everyone in Hollywood had an orgy behind your back? Like none of y'all called me? Well, it really hurts. I'm glad they didn't call me though, because the stories that come out about it are crazy. I saw one thing on the internet, so I'm not sure this is true. Probably doubt it's true, but I saw it. Some guy who said he knew Puff was like, yeah, man. He's like, I was at the freak off one time and I went in the back room and Puff was in there with Carl Winslow, the dad from Family Matters. He was smashing and I was like, Puff, what are you doing? And he was like, yeah, it feels good to make another man do your bidding. And I was like, oh my God. Carl Winslow from Family Matters was there and I wasn't invited?
During his 17-minute Saturday Night Live monologue, Dave Chappelle used comedy to address one of entertainment's most serious controversies. He joked about the enormous trouble surrounding Diddy and even suggested he had never seen anything quite like it. But fans focused on more than the jokes. They noticed Chappelle's delivery, which made some wonder whether he understood more about the situation than he was saying publicly. He joked about Diddy facing a Rico case alone, then laughed about never being invited to Diddy's famous parties. On the surface, it was classic Chappelle humor. But underneath those jokes, viewers saw possible commentary about the exclusive circles surrounding Diddy, where powerful people allegedly built connections and shared private spaces. Whether Chappelle was simply joking or hinting at something deeper remains open to interpretation, but his comments definitely got people talking.
He's contractually obligated to have, normally, any drug or narcotic you want is available. But you just start seeing groups of arrive, male, female, and you just start seeing people pairing off and start doing what they do. And if I'm at one of these events with a male and my principal is a man, I'll go wait in the car, because look, bro, I'm not here for the swinger party. You feel me? And then, you don't want to be the straight guy in a party where everybody else is rainbow, because when they start hitting on you, now you're the jerk. You never want to be that guy. You got to be a gentleman at all times until it's time to get vicious if necessary. So I never directly was paid by him or worked for him. I ended up at some of his events due to my employment, and yeah, man, a lot of strange things take place for sure.
Let me ask you a question. If you can recall, what was the worst thing or the most off-color thing that you saw happen at any one of these events?
Okay. So now when it comes to his events, the most off-color thing I saw was 1 second he's in a suit, next second he's in a towel, and he's holding hands with two Eastern European gentlemen. And
when you say he, that's Diddy. You mean Diddy? Okay.
Yeah, and he's holding hands with these little vampire-looking guys, like they off the movie Twilight. And I knew, I said, all right, now I know what this is. I see what's going on here. It's time for us to exit. You see what I'm saying? So, by the grace of the good Lord, I was able to remove myself and my principal from there. But there's been times where I've been with guys and they're staying.
Kevin Hart has remained one of Hollywood's biggest stars for more than a decade. From stand-up comedy and blockbuster movies to major brand deals and his massive social media presence, his career has moved at an incredible pace. His relentless work ethic is a major part of that success. But some critics have questioned whether his rise was entirely organic. Comedian Katt has repeatedly suggested that Kevin was positioned for success rather than simply discovered. That idea of an industry plant suggests certain stars may receive powerful backing, protection, and opportunities behind the scenes. If that theory were true, it raises a bigger question. Who was helping Kevin Hart rise so quickly and consistently? And once again, that conversation brings Diddy's name into the picture.
If Diddy tells all, it could be crazy.
I see you said I mentioned Justin Bieber. You ain't say I mentioned Kevin Hart.
Okay. Well, what's going on with Kevin Hart?
I don't know, man.
Oh,
the internet is going wild on him, saying that he was a curator and a narrator of one of the Diddy parties and got caught on tape. You didn't hear that?
Wow. I didn't hear that one. No.
That must be one of your favorite. That must be one of your favorite comedians then. Cause you ain't hear that?
Kevin's cool.
Huh?
I didn't hear it.
Get out of here.
It's cool, but I didn't hear that one. I must have missed it, man. I think I caught most of them.
I think he almost fell in the tub with one of the girls. Diddy had some girls in the tub, a tub of baby oil or something like that, and he almost fell in the tub. It was crazy.
You know, he would be one of the celebrities that I definitely wouldn't think would be involved in anything illegal, for sure.
But you gotta realize this, man. People who get caught up in certain those things like that, those parties and things like that, is that they don't go there looking for that stuff. You gotta understand, they get caught up in the moment with the alcohol, the drugs, and then certain bottles that are laced with certain things that take you away from your normal self. And you end up probably doing something that you probably never do again in your life. You never get caught up in those things ever before. There are a lot of celebrities that go to these parties like this. And they not only Diddy parties. I went to a party before and You Can't Handle the Truth and King Kong Ain't Got Nothing on Me was at one of those parties. I was bodyguarding one of the girls. So what I'm saying is that it's rampant. And this was years ago. This was over 20 years ago. It's rampant in the music industry. It's rampant in Hollywood, film, pictures, and anything.
Well, Gene Deal, man, I really appreciate you taking the time.
Most people assume Diddy's influence was limited to music, but his connections reportedly extended into comedy as well. Over the years, he appeared at comedy events, supported entertainment projects, and maintained relationships with major comedians, including Kevin Hart. Diddy publicly praised Kevin and supported some of his ventures, while old interviews, photos, and appearances show the two interacting. That connection became more interesting when Katt Williams questioned whether Kevin's rise was completely organic. Some fans began wondering whether Diddy viewed Kevin as someone who could carry his influence into comedy, the same way he built power through music. The word handler is often used online to describe someone who allegedly guides another celebrity's career, public image, or relationships. But there is no established evidence that Diddy actually appointed Kevin Hart as his handler. Still, the theory raises a bigger question. How does influence move through Hollywood, and how much of what audiences see is shaped behind the scenes? For some fans, Kevin's connection to Diddy is enough to keep that question alive.
BET Awards went off without a hitch last night. A sense of that there. No, inside everything was fine, and outside everything was fine. And Kevin Hart decided that he was going to make jokes about, well, I mean, he's the host, right? So you have to sort of roast a little bit of someone who's in the audience because, well, this person is in a prison, actually right now sitting in a courtroom, and that's Diddy. Yes, he didn't say his name, but it was very clear to everyone who he was talking about here. Watch the reactions in the room.
Diddy was a big part of this culture. You know,
right.
His after parties, you know, were a part of the BET experience. So, you know, life comes at you fast, but, you know, Kevin had to address the elephant in the room.
By the way, we should say, the Diddy after parties that happen after award shows, that's not what the trial is about. Those weren't freak-offs. The trial is something separate, but still, nobody wanted to be seen as laughing at him. There were some Icon Awards handed out.
When Dave Chappelle walked away from his reported $50 million deal in 2005 and traveled to South Africa, many people thought he had completely lost his direction. Looking back, however, that decision is often viewed as a defining moment in his career. Chappelle explained that he felt pressured and misunderstood, believing powerful people were trying to influence his creative work and the message he wanted to deliver. That makes his position in comedy very different from Kevin Hart's. Kevin has built a massive mainstream career, working with major studios, brands, and networks while maintaining a highly accessible public image. To some fans, that represents everything Chappelle once pushed back against. Chappelle chose independence over being packaged or controlled, and that freedom became a major part of his comedy. His willingness to challenge powerful systems is also why audiences continue to listen closely when he speaks about Hollywood.
A meme towards, I feel like Dave Chappelle owe him a check, is because when Dave Chappelle did the Dallon situation, I feel like Dave Chappelle should have gave that boy a check, because that Dallon skit that Dave Chappelle did actually helped blow Dave Chappelle up. 100%, no matter how that sounds. And I was the reason, Chopper, they'll tell you, why we even did the Chappelle show. Is because the first, I think it's the first season of Making the Band, it came out, and the Dave Chappelle show came out. Like, I like comedy, me, you dig? I can lay back and watch comedy all day and night. Corey Mahokam and all them people, I can watch them all night. I seen the Dave Chappelle show come out, and when we came back for season 2, I was just telling them, like, y'all gotta watch this Dave Chappelle shit, and everybody looked at me weird. But the publicist, who was actually Keith Murray, either baby mama or wife or something, she was actually our publicist. And she was like, he is funny, isn't he? I was like, yeah, you should get it. You should try to contact him. And next thing you know, she contacted him and he came to the house, and that's how we ended up doing the Dave Chappelle skit. Thanks, Chop.
So that's what it was then. That's the reason why Dallon wasn't showing up to the meetings and all that.
Yes, that's exactly why. Dallon ain't show up because he felt like he can do better by himself. He already had the fame and the popularity. So why not? You dig? And to me, honestly, I should have done the same. My old young dumb duck ass. I guess that's why when they say 18 and over, you should probably be 18 and over, because my young dumb ass ain't know no better. I was rubies, getting all this money and not even knowing the money that I'm thinking I'm getting is pennies on a dollar. Ain't that a bit? I love life. But you couldn't tell. That's why the industry loves signing young dumb niggas. You heard me? Because you can get them pennies of the dollars and make $30 million off of them. You ever notice the industry don't sign 25, 26-year-old? They don't f with all that. Because if you know better, you're going to be hard to deal with. That's why they sign the youngsters, you dig? That's why, to all you artists out here, you heard me? Come in with your own motion, your own bag, little daddy, towards you. Come in this bitch and can't nobody tell you shit. That's why I roll the way I roll right now. Can't nobody tell me nothing, you heard me? I move how I want to move, you understand me? Because I'm in my own bag. You heard me? Come into a situation with your own money. Don't come into this bitch for help, you dig? Because they gonna help you, all right? They gonna help you, all right? He said facts. Yeah, they gonna help you, all right? And spit you right back out like you was nobody. Yeah, that's why Dallon said them.
That was the reason. Gotta ask you, because I never asked you about it. How you feel about the situation between Shine and Puffy?
I think that Diddy did him real foul. I think that I don't think Shine shot that lady. I don't think Shine shot that lady. And I think Diddy used them police, the same police he said he was gonna use against me on Shine. Like he was gonna get me prosecuted, because that's exactly what he did to Shine. He paid people off to aim for Shine, and Shine took the rap for something that I don't feel like he done, and it fucked up his life. But Shine he used his trauma as triumph.
Katt Williams has been criticizing Hollywood's power structure for years, speaking about secretive parties, industry politics, and the way certain stars allegedly receive protection while others are pushed aside. When he specifically questioned Kevin Hart's rise, many dismissed his comments as jealousy or bitterness. But as Diddy's empire has come under intense scrutiny, people have started revisiting some of those older claims. Katt argued that Kevin received opportunities and support that weren't available to everyone, suggesting that powerful connections can make an entertainer's path much easier. That has led some fans to wonder whether Diddy's influence extended beyond music and into comedy as well. There's no verified evidence that Diddy controlled comedy careers or selected Kevin as a handler. Still, the theory has fueled comparisons between comedians like Chappelle and Katt, who have often positioned themselves as outsiders, and mainstream stars who continue receiving major opportunities.
Doing a lot of truth-telling.
Want to know what's interesting?
Go ahead.
It's Katt Williams that taught me how to be Jaguar, right?
Oh, wow, okay. What was it about him that you kind of say, ooh?
10-10. He was my 30th birthday present. almost 17 years ago. I'll never forget when he walked into the club and I was sitting at my table. It was my birthday party. And Special Ed brought him.
Shout out Special.
And me and Ed were celebrating our birthdays that year for the Taurus Affair that we used to do in Miami Beach every year. And Katt was playing the amphitheater and he wanted to meet me. And he came to my party, gave me about 20 grand in cash and said, consider it a down payment on your time. And Moni Love was there. Cousin Sonny was there. Imrel was outside smoking a blunt, so she missed the infamous picture with all of us together with Katt. And me and him sitting next to each other, 2 hats on, 2 cats in the hat.
Yeah.
And he taught me so much in 9 months. Walking away was hard, but it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him. And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house. And I left. You know, back in that moment, Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed. To bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on. In bed.
What was it about that and him at the moment where it made you want to speak your truth?
He went after Comedy Central. That's what happened. The Flavor Flav roast. The moment that I knew the Snoop Dogg is sold out. That was a hurtful moment. I was always grateful to Snoop for taking Corrupt under his wing. Ricky was in a lot of trouble in Philly. If he hadn't signed a dog pan, I don't even know if he would have been alive. I've always been grateful to Snoop for that. Ricky, my brother.
That's real. Man, that's real. So let me, go ahead.
They wanted Katt to humiliate Flav. Like, humiliate him. Like, no holds barred. And they sent a bunch of good jokes. And I'll never forget watching Katt in the office downstairs at the house in Marina Del Rey. And he's sitting there looking at grip and just shaking his head. And then the next thing you know, the phone rang and I'm standing there in the office in the doorway and I'm like, are you all right? And he picked up the phone and it was on Comedy Central. And I listened to him threaten to kill him. He said, I'm not doing this. You are not going to get a black man, a real black man, to agree to do this to another black man. $. It was a terrible day.
Kevin Hart's early comedy career was built on small gigs, club performances, and years of steady work. But as Diddy's influence grew in the early 2000s, Kevin's career also began gaining momentum, with bigger roles, greater visibility, and stronger industry connections. He went from stand-up to hosting major award shows, acting, producing, and building businesses across entertainment. Some insiders have claimed Diddy respected Kevin's energy, loyalty, and carefully managed public image. Kevin generally avoided taking extreme positions in major industry controversies, which led some people to view him as a natural ally. Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle has always used comedy differently. He often hides serious observations inside jokes, allowing difficult subjects to reach audiences without sounding like a direct accusation. Even his comments about never being invited to Diddy's parties could be interpreted simply as humor, or, by some viewers, as relief that he stayed outside that world. Now fans are dissecting Chappelle's words more closely, wondering whether his jokes contain a deeper message about Hollywood's power structure. Diddy's downfall has also shown how quickly influence can disappear, leaving former associates and protégés facing questions about their own connections.
Dave Chappelle owe him money because at the end of the day, Dave Chappelle played on his characteristic courtesy of Dallon being absent, but I still feel like Dave Chappelle should have compensated Dallon for that, because that low-key pioneered Dave Chappelle to get to the level where he's at, no matter how the song. That's facts.
That is facts. Why was Dallon absent during that Dave Chappelle
Because he didn't give a about no Diddy, because he's seen what we didn't see from the beginning. That period.
Dallon saw this.
So who really won on Making the Band? Dallon. That's
So what was that phone call when Dave Chappelle said, I want to do a skit and I'm gonna play Dallon? Like, did nobody call?
It was me. Keith Murray, wife is a big publicist at this time, and she worked with us. Keith Murray, of all people, I know that song.
Yeah, shout out Keith Murray. Yeah, that's my guy.
Like, what the
if you got to connect, tell him come out.
The most beautiful thing in this world, right? So check it out. The first Making the Band season, we was nobodies. And I went home to New Orleans and Dave Chappelle came on Comedy Central, you heard me? And I thought it was just the funniest shit. So we came back 6 months on, 6 months off on MTV. So when we came back on Making the Band for season 2, I told Keith Murray's wife, I said, Dave Chappelle is the funniest person in the world. I think you should try to create a skit. Ask them, they'll tell you. And she said, you think so? I said, I know so. She got in contact with Dave Chappelle. He was a big fan of us. He came to Diddy house. We was all at. He was like, let's do the skit. He said, Dallon here? We said, no. He said, I thought so. That's what we're going to do the skit on. That's how that went. That simple.
That simple.
And he owed Dallon money because all you really think about Dave Chappelle is one of the skits, and that's Dallon.
Hold on. What about the Little John?
No, yeah, Little John was kind of hard.
Little John
that's top. That I would say that's number one.
Okay.
But Dallon is number 2.
Dave Chappelle continues to speak his mind, while Katt Williams keeps challenging the people and systems he believes deserve scrutiny. Together, they represent voices in comedy that have often refused to simply follow Hollywood's rules. Kevin Hart, meanwhile, has remained much more careful about addressing these controversies publicly. Some people interpret that silence as a sign that he understands the risks of challenging the system that helped build his career. What's happening now goes beyond one scandal. Diddy's arrest has reopened conversations about power, influence, and relationships that many people avoided for years. Comedians like Chappelle and Katt are using humor to question those structures and encourage audiences to look beyond the surface. And that leaves Kevin Hart representing a very different path: mainstream success, acceptance, and carefully managed relationships rather than the rebellious independence associated with Chappelle and Katt.
He invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay.
Dave Chappelle has often shown how a joke can carry a deeper message. So when he talks about Diddy, Kevin Hart, and the strange side of Hollywood, fans naturally start looking beyond the punchlines. Was Kevin really chosen by Diddy to help maintain influence and image in comedy after Chappelle refused to play along? Or is Kevin simply a hard-working entertainer caught up in someone else's controversy? There's no confirmed evidence proving the handler theory, so the question remains open. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new upload. Until then, fam, keep it real.